and precise enough to cut this hard African blackwood. It's a very heavy and dry wood, perfect for turning. For more intricate decorative cuts, he uses a handheld device called a combing tool. Next, he uses what's called a parting off tool to make additional decorative grooves. He measures these grooves using a caliper to ensure they meet the specifications of the design. The craftsman drills a hole to create what's called a projecting mount. It's made of imitation ivory, and at 5 centimeters in diameter, it fits on the drone like a washer, but it's just for decoration, one of 7 on the bagpipe. He adds a metal component called a slide, also for decoration. Next, he turns what's called a blowpipe. This one's made of plastic to withstand moisture from saliva. Traditionalists prefer blowpipes made of wood. He adds a mouthpiece. It retracts by 20 centimeters depending on the player's height. The player blows into the mouthpiece to inflate the bag. A small metal tube between 2 plastic blades forms the chanter reed. When air strikes it, the reed vibrates inside the chanter, a pipe at the bottom of the instrument that has 8 finger holes for notes and 2 for pitch adjustment. To secure it, the craftsman wraps the reed with hemp string and winds Teflon tape over the string for an airtight seal. Then a brass wire called a bridle to control the shape of the reed. Narrowing the opening produces a higher pitched sound. The craftsman ties hemp string to create traction between the drone segments, holding them together. Hemp string is especially durable, yet easily replaced if damaged. Here's the completed tenor drone. Next, a craftsman inserts what's called a stalk through the zippered opening of the pipe bag. The pipe bag's made of synthetic, breathable material. The 5 stalks fit through a rubber collar in the bag, attaching to the 3 drones, the chanter, and the blowpipe. The craftsman inserts the chanter through a sleeve in the bottom of the pipe bag. He secures it with string, tightening it around the bag. He closes the zipper to form an airtight seal. Next, he places the pipe bag into a decorative velveteen bag cover. He inserts the stalks through holes trimmed with wool or silk fringe. A rubber valve prevents the player's air from coming back up through the blowpipe, channeling it through the chanter instead. Another part, called a drone reed, acts like a plastic tongue. It vibrates over a long hole to create the bagpipe's humming sound. The craftsman inserts the drone reed into the drone and then into its stalk. Wool cords keep the drones in place while the player plays. Finally, the craftsman fits the chanter reed into the chanter, then slides it into its stalk. A bagpiper must have a strong set of lungs because some songs can run for 20 minutes. Now that's long-winded. A Yule log is a traditional dessert for Réveillon, the Christmas Eve meal that follows midnight mass in France and French Canada. It's a rolled sponge cake covered in chocolate frosting and decorated to look like a tree log. It's supposed to represent a real Yule log, the burning of which was once a popular Christmas ritual. This company uses vanilla or chocolate ice cream instead of frosting. The cake itself is chocolate sponge cake. Workers start by making chocolate cake batter in a machine called a liquefier. They add flavoring, exactly what is a trade secret, and liquid eggs, binding agents, butter, oil, sugar, flour, and cocoa. After mixing the batter for 20 minutes, a machine called the cake depositor pumps it into a 50-liter vat. The cake depositor distributes the batter evenly through nozzles spaced 9 centimeters apart. Then it spreads the batter onto brown craft paper that's about 1 meter wide. The paper's waxed so the cake won't stick after baking. The machine funnels the batter into an even layer that's 6.5 millimeters thick and 91 centimeters wide. Workers make between 8 to 10,000 Yule logs daily, depending on the size. After baking for 7 minutes at 260 degrees Celsius, a conveyor moves the cake out of the oven at 1.8 meters per minute. Next, a circular saw separates the cake right down the middle. Every 17 seconds, another blade, appropriately called a guillotine, drops down, slicing the cake into smaller segments. A machine pours strawberry jam onto a thick layer of ice cream. This creates 3 layers, including the cake slab underneath. The factory goes through 1,800 kilograms of jam and 12,000 liters of ice cream per 8-hour shift. A worker gently separates the cake slabs, leaving about 8 centimeters of excess ice cream and jam, which is thrown away. She then separates the cake from the craft paper by folding the cake onto itself once, then rolling the cake, ice cream, and jam layers together. Watch closely and you'll see that she doesn't touch the cake, only the paper. She wears rubber gloves to prevent her hands from sticking to the paper. The worker rolls the cake into a machine called a slicer. It cuts the cake into 3 20-centimeter long segments called logs. The slicer deposits the logs into plastic trays. Another machine now decorates with ice cream. It covers the surface as well as the ends. The ice cream decorations are lace and floral designs. Now for